Hi, it's me again with Corel Tips and Tricks. And if you have no interest drawing or redrawing something like this, just stop watching. Somebody sent me this, I don't even know what it is, a picture, but it's got almost every detail I need. Like these holes are 1 3/8 apart. This hole and this hole is 4 1/8. And that hole is 4 inches from the center, and the board is 1 inch or 1 foot. So I've already, and I don't, he's going to use it for a CNC router. So I don't know if he needs these colored areas. And like, I don't know what that, I don't really know what that is, but I drew those in, and maybe in a CNC router, he could drill these holes and then just take out a little bit of an indentation. I look at things like this as something very easy to draw. I'm not all that, I am mechanical, but, oh, okay, I locked that. I locked that the other day, and I want to show you why. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Object, Lock and Unlock. That's a really good thing to do to, I'm going to show you here in a minute. I'm going to group that together, and I'm going to move that out of the way. So all the dimensions, we need a 1 foot side. So we're going to take a 6-sided polygon, and I'm going to rotate it 30 degrees because I want that flat side. And I'm going to measure this right here with the parallel dimension tool. And I'm just a little bit short. I got pretty close. I'm going to make these numbers larger so I can see them. And now, if you will grab that and hold down the shift key and just kind of make it grow from the outside, but the shift key, okay, we're really close. So instead of redoing it, I'm going to make it, I'm going to change the percentage to 105. Look at that. I'm done. That's a 12-inch board. Now I'm going to go ahead and, you know what, I'm not going to round off the corners till later because I might need them as access. Now, there's a hole in the middle, and I figured out it was, by just judging, it was 3/8. So I'm going to draw a 3/8 inch hole, which is point 0.375, and I'm going to hit P. Let me make sure that's my hole size. And the hole size is really easy to change, and I'm hopefully get it to it with this. Let me make sure I've made that hole. I'm going to unlock all, ungroup all. No, I made it 0.4. Okay, now we got that. Now, if we look from that hole to that corner, there's a 4-inch line, a 4 1/8 inch line, and a 1 3/8 inch line. So what I'm going to, you know what, this would really be easier now to take it and rotate it back to 0, because that way I can work this way. So I'm going to take my first line is a 4-inch line. So, and then everything's from the center. So I'm going to take a 4-inch line, and I'm going to go and put that edge in the center. Now I need a 4 1/8 inch line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this one black because I draw in red. So I'm going to go 4.125. And then I'm going to have it nest right on the end of that line, and it'll snap to it. Now we're going to need another line. Well, yeah, that's true, because this is this line. This is the measurement. So really we need 1 3/8 inch line. So you can see the difference. And if I make them a little bit thicker, maybe you can see them better. Let me make it, because it won't really matter. There we go. Now I'm going to make a line that's 1 3/8. 1.3/8. No, that ain't right. 1.375 is an eighth. Whoop, there we go. Let's go ahead and make it that same pointage. So 1 inch. And we're going to have it snap right to the end of that. Now, it looks funny because it's rotated up the other way. So I'm going to go, that's why you lock that thing. So go up here to Object and lock it. That way when you, why can't I lock? Oh, I can't lock it because it's got a parallel dimension tool on it. Now that's locked, so I don't have to worry about it. I'm going to go ahead and group these lines together, Control G, and I'm going to rotate them from the center. Well, what I'm going to do, I can, okay, I want to make this flat, so I'm going to unlock it for a second. And I'm going to rotate this 30 degrees. Those lines need to go up to that corner. So I'm going to, I'm not going to Control D. I'm just going to, let me zoom in here. I'm going to grab them and I'm going to put the center rotation in the center and I'm going to rotate them 30 degrees. Well, 60 degrees. There's our placement of our lines. Now I need to make this one, I need to go to Object, Group, and ungroup them. And it'll really work. I'm trying to, I would rather work in a hairline, but I want you to be able to see it. So I'm going to make another 0.40 line. And I'm going to put it right here on this node. And then I'm going to hit another line and put it right there on that node. Now there's a, is there another? So I'm trying to figure out. So it should be, there's just 3 circles. No, I need one more. I need one at the end of that line. Whoa. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take away this line and we'll do some measurement just to make sure. This is really pretty easy once, because we're almost done. So we're 4 inches. We're 4 1/8 if I round it off. And we're 1 3/8. All right, we're there. Let me go ahead and get rid of these. Now this one, there's a perfect rotation. So I'm going to Control G, Control D, and rotate them 90 degrees. And see, I get that perfect square. And even though it looks like that. Now, from this one right here, if we look, we need, they're 1 inch apart. And from that one, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what we're gonna do, because we're working in this direction, we're gonna set our nudge factor on 5 inches. We're gonna take that and make a duplicate and put it up there. And these are 4 inches apart. So I'm gonna change my nudge factor to 4. Hit the plus key, and then back to 5. So I could have done them both the same way. Control D and move it down. That's our box. Now we need, between the two, up top we need 3, but between the length we need 4. So I'm going to use the blend tool. So I'm going to do the top first. I'm going to go to Effects and Blend 3 times. Okay. I've got to break, I'm going to always break the blend apart. And also ungroup them. You see the center ones are a group, even though it probably doesn't matter. Now I'm going to grab these two and I'm going to blend 4 times. Go up to Object, break the blend apart, go up to Object and ungroup, and then do the same thing. Well, we could, and see I didn't lock that. Let's lock that now, because you'll be happy you did. Grab those two and blend them the same. Go up to Object, break them. So it's a Control K, Control G, but I'm so accustomed to doing it this way. I think we have everything we need. And this is what's really cool about this. We're going to grab all these, Control G to group, Control D to duplicate, and rotate it 60 degrees. Whoop, I didn't put it to the center. Control D, put your rotation in the center, make sure it's in the center, and rotate it 60 degrees. Look at that. And you're done. Now, word of warning, if you were going to cut this out, there's a couple of problems that I'm going to go ahead and go up here and make sure they're ungrouped. This we use for a reference point. So there's 2 of them. I'm going to hit delete. Whoop. See, I didn't ungroup that. I'm just going to ungroup all. And I can actually see the darkness, the double line. Because if you don't, that's going to, see like that. If you don't, see that one's just a single line. Now this one, I'm going to delete, 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 because we had that, we use that as a center rotation. I'm done. Doing this, really easy. You know, so I didn't even know what size the circles were. I don't know if that's even important, but since this is a group, I can take my ellipse and go straight from that center. Hold. Let's make sure they're grouped together. That's the center. Hold down the shift key and when you go down the control key, maybe I'm just going to hold down the shift key. Well, why isn't it working? Tell you what, let's just draw that circle and just put it in the center between these 2 objects. Well, let's click on that. Well, okay. Safely, way to do it would be to take a 2-point line, go from the center to the center, center to the center. Now we have a reference point. We're not big enough, so hold down the shift key and make it bigger. Now take away these lines. And what's nice about this, once you have this, let's take the Smart Fill tool and fill it in. Just with a light gray. And then Control D to make a duplicate. Alternate C because we're working the center of the page. And rotate it 60 degrees. Look at that. It didn't put it right on top. Maybe I'm not in the center of the page. Control D. Maybe I didn't start in the center. There we go. So you're done. Now, if you needed, oh, you know what I didn't do? Is I didn't put these 4 right here. So what well, I could have done that before we rotated, but if you will take this line, these are 1 inch apart. Look at that. Now these have a box around them. Is there, yeah, there's 4 and 4. Okay, but they're not equal. Okay, they're equal. Now, same thing here. And the easiest way to do it would be to grab this, hold down the shift key, double click on the rectangle tool, then get your shift key or yeah, that didn't really ever work. Tell you what, you could contour that, make it a little easier. That way your square is perfect. Go to Effects, Contour. Let's just contour to the outside one time at 1/4 of an inch. And we have that box. Now take away the original box. Whoop, I got to break the contour apart. Look at that. Let's turn that into that color. Control D, have it rotate from the center. That center marble is really helpful. 60 degrees, look at that, and you're done. We're done. Anyway, if I would have had the size, in what I did to size the hole, I made this drawing about the size, and then I just measured one of the holes. And see, it's 0.39, so I made it 0.4. Anyway, not saying you'll ever draw a marble game, but it's pretty easy. Hope that helped. Thank you for watching.